Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're cutting through the noise, really getting into the thinking of, well, one of our era's most forward-looking figures.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos.
Right.
We're not looking back at Amazon's early days or, the latest Blue Origin rocket.
Yeah.
Our mission today is different. It's to uncover his kind of profound vision for artificial intelligence and robotics.
Yeah, and what it all means.
Exactly. What these huge forces mean for, well, the very fabric of human civilization. So get ready to explore the massive opportunities, the stark challenges, and some really deep philosophical questions he believes we absolutely have to confront.
It's an incredibly timely discussion.
Yeah.
And Bezos, he offers this perspective that's, well, it's genuinely unique.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just a tech pioneer, is he?
Mm-hmm.
He's someone who is constantly looking decades ahead.
Yeah.
And what's really captivating, I think, is how he frames AI and robotics.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, new technology. He sees them as fundamental shifts, things that will redefine what it means to be human, how our civilization even operates.
Yeah.
We're talking about a future where intelligence isn't, solely biological, confined to brains like ours.
Okay, let's really unpack this then.
Yeah.
When he's asked about AI, say 10, 20, maybe even 50 years out, Bezos paints this really vivid picture. He envisions a world where, and this is his quote, intelligence is not limited to biological brains.
Wow. Just stop and think about that.
Right. For all of human history, intelligence has been, well, he puts it as scarce, coming from just a few billion human minds.
Relatively speaking, yeah.
But here's where it gets, for me, really interesting. He sees AI creating this entirely additional layer of intelligence on top of human civilization.
An additional layer.
Yeah. He even suggests that maybe the 2020s and 2030s, they might be remembered as the decades humanity got its first non-biological partner in thinking, problem solving, and creating.
That is such a profound statement.
Yeah.
And it really forces us to reevaluate so much, doesn't it?
It does.
If intelligence, this thing we thought was uniquely human, this precious commodity, if it becomes broadly accessible, non-biological,
Mm-hmm.
what's the unique value of being human? Does it become our capacity for meaning, maybe? Or our irrational drives, things he kind of hints at later?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just like faster computers. It's a total paradigm shift in how we approach every challenge, every opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It fundamentally changes our relationship with knowledge itself and creation.
So naturally, something this powerful brings up that crucial question for all of us. Is it ultimately an opportunity or is it a threat?
The big question.
And Bezos is, well, he's very clear, it's both.
Okay.
He uses these incredibly powerful analogies to sort of drive this home. He compares AI to fire.
Fire. Okay.
Yeah, it provides warmth, cooks food, right. But it can also burn down entire cities.
Yeah.
Or the internal combustion engine gave us amazing mobility, but also pollution everywhere.
Right. Unintended consequence.
Exactly. And he emphasizes that AI, in its scope, its potential impact, it's even bigger than those huge historical innovations. The opportunities he talks about are staggering. Imagine like curing diseases at a molecular level because AI can simulate trillions of interactions in seconds.
That's hard to even fathom.
Or optimizing food production so no child goes hungry anywhere in the world.
Huge potential upsides.
But, and it's a big but, he cautions the risks are just as real. Irresponsible deployment, or maybe even more terrifying, it's deliberate misuse by bad actors.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
And this, he argues, highlights the absolute critical need for governance, alignment, and ethical frameworks.
That governance piece, though, that's a powerful analogy, but it brings up the really uncomfortable question of how we actually achieve that.
Right.
I mean, AI development is global.
Mm-hmm.
Is it truly realistic to get universal guardrails?
Right.
Or is it always going to be this sort of patchwork thing? And when he mentions alignment, he's talking about that massive challenge ensuring AI's goals, its actions, actually stay consistent with human values, with our intentions.
That's key.
It's not enough just to build these incredibly powerful systems. We have to somehow embed this profound sense of responsibility right into their design, how we deploy them.
And you might be wondering, like a lot of us are, do tech leaders really take these ethical things seriously?
The million-dollar question.
Bezos admits it's a mixed bag. He acknowledges some companies are genuinely serious. Others, well, they just move fast without thinking deeply.
Her old mantra.
Yeah. Personally, he believes it's the leader's responsibility to build a culture where ethics are not an afterthought. He points to Amazon's early guidelines on customer data, privacy, that kind of thing, as an example from before AI really exploded.
Yeah.
For him, ethics in AI, it shouldn't be about slowing down innovation. It should be about ensuring innovation is sustainable for the long haul.
And while, Bezos champions that ethical leadership, it's probably fair to acknowledge that some critics might look at the past actions of big tech companies, especially around user data.
Sure.
And they might question whether corporate incentives really do align with these long-term ethical goals without stronger, maybe external regulation.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
It's this tension, isn't it, between rapid innovation and the necessary safeguards. Society's still trying to figure that balance out.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly and connect this to robotics, which Bezos describes pretty simply as essentially AI in physical form.
AI with legs or wheels or arms.
Right. And he envisions nothing short of an explosion of productivity as these intelligent machines get more and more capable. Beyond what we see now, like in warehouses moving packages, reducing repetitive strain for people, he foresees this future packed with household robots. Robots that can cook, clean, care for the elderly, or assist people with disabilities. Imagine robotic surgeons operating with superhuman precision.
Right.
Or in construction, robots that can build entire houses in days.
That would change everything.
He confidently predicts personal home robots will become ubiquitous, as common as your smartphone, handling all those jobs we don't want to do or maybe can't do efficiently, like folding laundry.
Okay, I could use one of those.
I think we all could. That laundry pile,
Right.
it's a challenge even for me.
Oh. But that vision, ubiquitous home robot, it's compelling, but it immediately raises that critical question everyone's asking. If robots can do everything, what happens to human jobs?
Yeah. The jobs question, and Bezos acknowledges this is one of the hardest questions.
It really is.
He points to history, reminds us of parallels, like cars replacing horses.
Right, the blacksmiths.
Exactly. Jobs like blacksmiths disappeared, but then entirely new industries popped up. Millions of jobs in manufacturing, mechanics, logistics. He believes AI and robotics will trigger a similar shift.
A shift, okay? But the scale feels different this time, maybe.
He acknowledges the pace is unprecedented, but his key argument centers on reskilling.
Reskilling.
He stresses society must proactively train workers. Our education systems need to get way more flexible, teaching skills like adaptability, creativity, problem solving, not just prepping someone for one single career that might not exist in 10 years.
Learning how to learn, basically.
Precisely. And he argues if we succeed in this massive reskilling effort, AI could actually become the great equalizer by democratizing access to these incredibly powerful tools.
The equalizer. But there's also this significant worry about the concentration of power, isn't there?
How so?
Well, training these cutting-edge AI models, the frontier models, it costs, hundreds of millions of dollars?
Right, enormous sums.
So that naturally gives the huge companies a massive advantage. Bezos hopes, he says, that open source communities and smaller labs will be crucial for balance. He uses the analogy of the internet eventually becoming more democratic.
Okay, so there's hope for the little guy.
He hopes so, but achieving that balance, that's going to take deliberate effort. It requires, he says, governments and markets to regulate access and ensure healthy competition. We can't just let market forces run wild.
Right.
It's a much trickier challenge than just hoping for the best. And there are ongoing debates, too, about whether open source AI is always the safest or most responsible way forward.
Okay, here's a thought that really hits kind of at the core of our existence. If AI eventually becomes more powerful than human intelligence, will humans still matter?
The ultimate question, maybe.
Bezos' answer is pretty emphatic, a resounding, humans will always matter.
Why? What's his reasoning?
He argues AI lacks consciousness. It lacks meaning, love, suffering, aspiration, those fundamentally human things. He puts it beautifully, I think. AI might be a brilliant calculator that can solve any equation.
Okay.
But the decision about which equation to solve that comes from us. The real risk, he warns, is when we humans outsource too much agency to machines.
Agency, that's the key.
We must remain in the driver's seat, he says, always.
That insight about agency, it's critical. It shifts the focus, doesn't it? From just what AI can do to what we humans should do with it. And this brings up another common fear, that AI will somehow stifle or even replace human creativity.
Yeah, will artists be out of a job?
Right. But Bezos frames AI differently, not as a competitor, but as another tool, like a paintbrush or a camera, something that can actually boost human creativity by offering new ways to express themselves.
Interesting way to put it.
So the deeper question isn't really about AI's creative capacity, but how we choose to use this tool. Are we going to make humans redundant or to make humans more powerful?
And what about that other fundamental human need? Connection.
Oh yeah, big one.
He warns pretty strongly, if we let machines replace human interaction like caring for children or the elderly, then we're making a mistake.
Serious mistake.
He really advocates for balance. Technology should be designed to supplement, not substitute, the richness of human connection. He uses this analogy of nutrition. He says, supplements can be helpful, but you can't replace food with pills entirely.
That makes sense. It gets right to the core of what we think is uniquely human. And what's fascinating here is his take on consciousness itself.
Right. Is AI conscious?
Bezos is firm on this. He thinks AI is nowhere close to consciousness. He describes it as incredibly sophisticated pattern recognition at scale, very advanced mathematics.
Just math, essentially.
Yeah. While machines might get incredibly good at simulating emotions, maybe convincingly so, he really stresses that simulation is not the same as experience.
Okay, that's a key distinction.
He says AI can imitate laughter, but it doesn't feel joy. Which makes you wonder, though, if AI can perfectly mimic empathy or understanding, how we tell the difference? And maybe, will we even care to?
That's a bit unsettling. Okay, let's look beyond Earth now. AI becomes this crucial enabler for Bezos's, well, his huge long-term vision for humanity's future.
You mean space, Blue Origin.
Exactly. He envisions this multi-planetary civilization, millions living and working off-world. And to get there, AI is absolutely vital. To manage ecosystems, recycle resources, ensure safety in these off-world habitats. He talks about autonomous systems building habitats on the moon or Mars before humans even arrive.
Wow, sending the robots first.
Yeah. Together, AI and robotics are, in his view, the actual scaffolding we need for humanity to really expand beyond Earth.
That really connects everything to the bigger picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're moving way beyond AI as just, a convenience or productivity tool.
Right.
Here, it shifts into civilization-scale problem solving.
Yeah.
Tackling humanity's grandest challenges.
Like what?
Well, whether it's fighting climate change, securing sustainable energy for billions, or just the immense logistical puzzle of space colonization, AI and robotics, they're not just helpful anymore. They become indispensable.
And speaking of climate change, Bezos actually sees AI and robotics as potentially the greatest allies of environmental sustainability.
Allies? How? Given the energy they consume.
Well, he explains how they can optimize energy grids, drastically cut waste, monitor forests with incredible accuracy, even help clean the oceans. He doesn't ignore the criticisms aimed at big corporations either.
Like Amazon itself.
Yeah. He cites Amazon's climate pledge, aiming for net zero by 2040, and explains how AI is already helping optimize delivery routes, reduce packaging waste, minimize overproduction, things like that.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? Technology is that double-edged sword. But it's often also our best path to solutions if we wield it responsibly.
That's the key word, responsibly.
Yeah, and the challenge is making sure those solutions are truly equitable, truly sustainable, not just efficient for some. And on a global scale, it's obvious AI will profoundly change power dynamics.
How does he see that playing out?
Well, Bezos believes the nations that master algorithms and data will lead the way. And we're already seeing countries treating AI development almost like a race.
A new space race, but for AI.
Kind of. The critical question, of course, is will it be a race for solutions that actually benefit everyone, or just another race for technological dominance?
So let's bring it back to the individual. For a young person listening right now, maybe thinking about a career in AI or robotics, what's Bezos' number one piece of advice?
Yeah, what should they study?
Curiosity. That's number one.
Curiosity.
In terms of skills, yeah, math, computer science, engineering, those are crucial. But he adds, equally important are philosophy, ethics, and communication.
Wow, so the humanities are still vital.
Absolutely. His counsel is clear. Don't just learn how machines work, learn how people work.
That's really interesting. And what's fascinating there is the humility. Even a visionary like Bezos admits he feels overwhelmed sometimes by the sheer pace of change.
Even he does.
Yeah. And he worries deeply about unintended consequences. He suggests using that fear productively, though, not as something that paralyzes you, but as a compass to guide us in studying and shaping this technology for humanity's benefit.
Using fear as a compass. I like that.
It resonates with his advice to understand people, right? Because ultimately, AI's biggest impact is on us.
Okay, let's jump forward. Let's imagine his vision for, say, 2075. What does that look like?
50 years from now.
He imagines homes where every surface is smart, robotic chefs who know your precise nutritional needs, transportation that's totally autonomous and seamless, healthcare that's proactive, predictive.
Sounds like science fiction almost.
It does. And work, he suggests, might even become optional. Machines handle the basics of survival, freeing humans up to pursue creativity, exploration, relationships.
Optional work.
And hopefully, he adds, millions of people are living in space habitats by then.
Okay, but this brings up maybe the most profound question of all, the one we keep circling back to. If machines do everything, if survival isn't the main driver anymore, what gives humans purpose?
Yeah, what's left for us?
Bezos' answer is deeply philosophical here. He says purpose has never come from survival alone. He believes humans will actually have more freedom to define purpose than ever before, whether that's exploring, creating art, teaching, or simply, loving.
So the purpose comes from within.
That seems to be his point. He concludes with this really powerful thought. Technology can give us opportunities, but it cannot give us meaning. Meaning comes from us.
Wow, what an incredible deep dive that was. Really getting into the mind of Jeff Bezos on AI and robotics. His insights, they really compel you to look beyond the daily headlines and just grapple with the monumental scale of this transformation.
Absolutely. And his final message, especially for the next generation, it really resonates. Don't fear intelligence, embrace it, but embrace it with responsibility. He reminds us that these tools, they fundamentally amplify human nature. He says, if we are wise, AI will amplify wisdom. If we are reckless, AI will amplify recklessness. The choice, he suggests, is ultimately ours.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? The future of AI, as Bezos suggests, it isn't just about the amazing machines we're going to build. It's ultimately about the humans we choose to be. How will you choose to use this unprecedented freedom that AI might offer? What new human purposes will emerge when that daily struggle for survival is no longer the primary thing driving our lives? These are the huge questions that are undoubtedly going to define our century.